Hi everyone, it's Michelle. It's great to see you. Welcome to Crafty Saturday. Today we are going to be making some beautiful cards using the Tropical Escape Designer Series paper. Have you seen this? It is so pretty. It has these amazing, look at this, right? I mean, how beautiful is that? So this is basic black on here. Kind of looks like early espresso because it's got some shadows in it, but I like it. This paper stood out immediately to me in the new catalog. Look at that pretty leaf. So a few years ago, my whole family, well, minus the lad, and I went to Hawaii. And wow, look at that one. That is beautiful. So we had a great time, and we went to the botanical gardens on the Big Island. And it was about 500 degrees with 3,000% humidity. And it was unbearable. But the gardens itself were amazing. It was so beautiful. And these colors just reminded me of that trip that we took to the botanical gardens. And I have got some terrible, terrible shadows in here today. Let me see if I can get another light in here. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let's see if this helps. I don't know why we have so many shadows. But maybe that light will help. Anyways, so today I wanted to craft with this pretty paper. This paper is going to be the focal point for my July club. So today I'm working on designing this club, and as soon as I get back from vacation, it's going to go right out to club members, and we'll have club when I get back. I get back on like midnight on the 28th, and I think club is on the 30th. So I have to have this all ready before I leave. The other reason I chose to use Designer Series paper today is because starting tomorrow, it's my favorite, all-time favorite sale at Stampin' Up. During the month of July, the Designer Series paper is buy 3, get 1 free. So, you can't go wrong with that. You just can't. Can everybody see? I feel terrible that there's so many shadows, or maybe it's just me. Can you give me a shout out if you can see? Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Anne. It's good to see everybody. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper, and this is the one we're going to use today. And I'm going to set this aside. Oh, and by the way, do you see how I store my 6x6 paper stacks? This is just a box that I bought at the dollar store or the Dollar Tree. And they fit perfectly in there. And they sit on my shelf like that. And I don't have to worry about them getting wrinkled or getting lost on my big paper shelves. And as you can see, I have a ton of this abstract impressions, this is garden impressions, I believe, paper. This is my second Sunday class that's next Sunday. So I'm going to put that aside. And I have, and I want to show you how else I'm organizing. I'm getting tired of being live and not knowing where anything is. I always think I've got everything in place. So another trip to the dollar store got me these little boxes, okay? And I love these little boxes. And look, here are all the inks I'm going to use today, all in one little box. I've got Tuxedo Black Memento, Melon Mambo, Granny Apple Green. And then here are my tools and adhesives. all in one box. Here's my other box. I've got my stamps and a little sponge dauber we're going to play with. And then we're going to make 2 cards this morning. And I've got everything I need, I hope, in these little boxes. So I've got these right here at the edge of my craft table. And I'm hoping that I am all organized for you. Okay? So, this sheet of paper is, I believe it's petal pink, and on the other side is granny apple green. And we're going to use both sides of this paper. The other thing we're going to use today, and I haven't used these, I just opened these today. These are the new Memories and More note cards. And if you look, whoa, folded that one crooked. I'll use that one later. They're pre-scored. I don't know how I folded that one crooked. And they measure 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, which the Memories and More cards, let's see if I've got some up here. Oh, I do. The Memories and More cards are 3 by 4. So you can use these 3 by 4 cards in your memory keeping or on these little note cards. So I'm not using Memories and More cards today. I'm going to use that Designer Series paper, but they've got the envelopes and the matching Whisper White cards. Okay? You have a sheet of Designer Series paper, and oh, my trimmer is downstairs. See, I told you I was going to be organized, so I'm going to pull out this trimmer today. Sorry. My Stampin' Up! Trimmer is downstairs because we used it at club. And I'm going to cut this. Now, here's the sneaky part, all right? Because on one of my cards, I want to make sure that my stripes are 4 inches across horizontally. Okay, so that means if I turn it this way, I can cut right down the center at 3 inches, because remember this is 6 inches, so right down the center at 3. And then I'm going to cut it again at 4. Okay, so now I have my horizontal stripes going 4 inches. And then this one I'm going to cut at 4 as well. But that one really doesn't matter, right? Because I'm going to use pink on the other side. Then I have these 2 extra pieces left, and they measure 3 inches by 2 inches, which makes sense if you do the math. Okay, so I have 2 3 by 2 pieces. We're going to use one of those in a very surprising way in a minute. So I'm going to set my trimmer aside because everything else got trimmed already this morning. And I want to create a very tropical card with you today. So I have 2 pieces of Granny Apple Green cut at 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And this is going to be, all the measurements are going to be on my blog, okay? And then here I've got my little box of stuff, okay? I have this thinlet. This thinlet cuts a frame. So I have my Big Shot because I want to show you how to cut that frame. So on one of these pieces of Granny Apple Green, you're going to line up your frame. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to cut it out. Then you have your layering square that fits just perfectly over that frame. See that? And here's my cutting plate. And I'm going to run that through the Big Shot. Now, if you didn't have that layering square, you would cut the frame in that piece of paper, and you'd have the whole thing. But what that layering square does is it allows you to pop that out. See, if you didn't have the layering square, you would just cut the big pieces. That's kind of cool. It looks like a Polaroid, doesn't it? I'm going to set that aside. Maybe I'll use that later. Okay, move my Big Shot. Take my layering square off because that cut that out of there. Set that back in my box. And then just peel this off. Okay. And then all these little pieces punch out like a puzzle. Now this kind of reminds me of something not only tropical, but maybe a little prehistoric. Oh, there it is. Okay. And I have my brush, so maybe it just needs brushed. Wow. You know, you just never know what's going to happen, but that just flops back on there. Do you have one of these brushes? They're awesome. They're in the catalog. They make getting all those little pieces out. It looks like I should have run that through twice, but that's okay. Okay. Now when I was making this card for my sample, I put it on here to see how it looked. And I thought, oh, well that's kind of flat. I wasn't really impressed. So I wondered how I could fix it. I see some of you are typing and I absolutely cannot see today because my camera is up so high, I can't see it. So I see that Debbie Wicklund says hi and Janine is there, but I will address all of your comments and things later, I promise, okay? So how am I gonna make this like pop and make it just cool, all right? So I have a silicone craft sheet and I have my frame and then I have my clear Wink of Stella glitter brush. Give it a good shake and we are going to paint the whole thing with glitter, okay? Because we can. And this is the best way to use glitter. If you don't have a Wink of Stella, contact me. We need to get you one. It is by far one of the coolest things. And it dries really fast, especially today because my ceiling fan is on. But just give it a quick paint. And you may not be able to see that on camera, but truly, I mean, it's a liquid glitter and it doesn't get all over you and it doesn't get all over the house and it doesn't get all over the dogs, okay? So there's just so much you can do. You can watercolor with a Wink of Stella. That's one of my favorite things. All right, let's see. There we go. I picked up a little more. All right. Ooh, let's really make it sparkly. That's awesome. It was drying out on me, so I gave it a quick little squeeze. Okay? Wow, we're really going to town now. Sound like my grandmother. Okay? What I did, you may not be able to see it off camera, but I squeezed a little Wink of Stella on my craft scratch paper here, and I'm just kind of picking it up because I wanted to really lay this on thick. So pretty, so sparkly. And it cleans up, right? It doesn't get all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, let that dry. Remember I said it's going to dry really fast. And let's get the rest of this card made. So I have, again, card base is the Memories and More note cards. And I want to have that stripe right here. Do you see that little white stripe? Okay. And my card, I need thank you cards. I need thank you cards. I could make thank you cards all day long and not have enough. Okay, every order I get gets a thank you card in it. All of my customers who buy during the month get thank you cards. I just can't keep up. Okay, so here's my thank you, and I'm going to stamp it right on my designer series paper. That's in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. Put that back in my box so I know where it is. I know you think I'm crazy, but I'm learning, okay? Then my second piece of Granny Apple Green, we're going to layer this piece of designer series paper on it. The sound of snail makes me happy, and I know it's working. Layer it carefully because there's a very small margin. Oops, sorry if I'm off camera. I don't mean to be. Okay, and then we're going to put this right on our card. This is almost dry, and I say almost, but it's dry enough for what I need to do. I'm going to put some snail right on the back of these big fern fronds. And my craft mat is great for that again, remember, because the adhesive won't stick to it. And I can put a little snail and not worry it's going to stick to anything else. Okay, then I'm going to carefully layer that. All right, come on. There we go. And, oh, we need a bow. So I'm really into tying a double bow right now with baker's twine or linen thread. And this is just something new I picked up this spring. I know people have been doing it, but I had never done it. I thought, well, what's the difference? My goodness, if you can tie a double bow, it adds just a little oomph to your project. It just looks very cool. Okay, so make your loops and then pull both tails at the same time, and then you can go back and adjust it. Okay, I'm going to trim those ends. There we go. And a glue dot. And just tie it right here. And there, we have a very tropical and very shimmery, shiny frame. Boy, that's really cool. Now, let's go back. Can you see the difference? Here's the one I made first, and here's the one I made second. I really used a lot more Wink of Stella on this second one. I think it looks cool. Wow, that's really neat. So, that's our first card. What do you think? Did you like it? Maybe you'll get one. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, let me clean up a little bit so that I know what I'm doing. Put all my adhesives and my tools away, and there's an envelope. Clean this up. We're going to make one more. Are you ready? We're going to use the same note card. And notice this one's a little dirty. It's okay, we're going to cover it right up. Don't worry. But remember I said I wanted this one to go horizontally. So in the Tropical Chic stamp set, this With Much Love and Thanks is a really long stamp, and it's really nice, and that's why I wanted this to go horizontally. Again, we're going to be using this for club in July, so if you need it and you want to order club to go, or if you want to come craft with me and you'd like that, we can add that to your order, okay? So I'm going to ink up my stamp with Memento, and I'm going to try it out first. Oh, lovely. Okay, ink it up. Now, because this stamp is one of those long, narrow ones, be really careful not to rock it, okay, because then it will smear. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. I'm done with my Memento ink. Snail. I'm looking all around, and it's right there in my very handy-dandy toolbox. I really like that. I may have to use those on my table all the time, know where everything is. Line it up. I'm like standing on tiptoes to see what I'm doing. I don't know why. Well, that one's going to be a little crooked, but hey, people know it's mine that way. Okay, and then I have this really pretty granny apple textured weave ribbon. This is beautiful. I wish you were here because I would let you have some. I'm going to just kind of frame this a little bit. Glue dots. Oh, they're sticking to me all over the place today. Wrap it around. Oh, come. That's all right. Come on. There we go. There, perfect. You're probably wondering, does she talk to herself when she crafts? Yeah, I do, all the time. Don't you? I mean, really? Who else is going to tell you when you absolutely look fabulous? Okay, set that aside. Now, I'm going to bring my Big Shot out for a minute, too. Oh, and I have a piece of scratch paper and my Melon Mambo ink pad. I have this Tropical Chic flower, and this is so pretty. Okay. Close that up. Big Shot again. Ready? And I have, whoops. I need new cutting pads. I think I'll buy those so that I have them brand new when I come home. Okay, then I have a scrap of Granny Apple Green here. And see how these layer? They're just like the frame. Okay, this palm frond is going to layer right here. And you can cut them both out at the same time. Okay, and I'm going to give it back through. Pop out my flower. Set that aside. Pop out. Okay, and this is the coolest thing because this you can pull out, right? Or you can leave it in. It's really amazing and I love it. This comes off, but really what I want is just these fronds. Okay, and you can use your snips to pull that out. Okay. Now remember I said we were going to use one of those 2x3 pieces. Here's why. I'm going to run it through the Big Shot again. And I'm going to put this right here. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now we can, whoops, grab the wrong card. Now we're going to finish this card. And I have a glue dot here. Be really careful, okay? It's pretty fragile. And then I'm going to take one and I'm going to roll it between my fingers. and put it right back here. No one will see it, but it will keep that laying down. Tuck that right behind your ribbon. Okay, your glue dot won't show. Dimensionals over here in my adhesive bucket. This is great, guys. I should be this organized more often. You'd think I was a Montessori teacher. Okay. Put your flower up there. And this ribbon makes the best bows. It's perfect for bow tying. It's soft, it's subtle, it keeps its shape, and it doesn't twist up on you, which I really appreciate. Okay, trim it up. Okay, ooh, too big. So just pull your ends, right? Play with it a little bit. Nice and tight. Trim those ends again. And that's going to go right there. Adhere that with a glue dot. And you're all set. But wait, there's more. Remember last week I said no naked envelopes? Well, guess what? Let's make an envelope. Okay, so we're going to make one to go with this card. And you know I made this frame with that designer series paper. Now I could have used the one where I used the scratch paper, but I like to do it on this piece because, oh, come on, come out of there. There it is. This has a really nice border. Okay, it gives me enough around the edge. I have a little piece of washi tape, and I'm just going to tear off just a tiny smidge. Okay, I'm going to put this over in the corner of my envelope here. And put that, and that's going to hold that secure, okay? Come over here. I have my Granny Apple Green and a sponge dauber. What I've done is made a template, and we're going to color on this envelope, okay? So ink up with your sponge dauber and start on the edge and just start dabbing. And you don't need a lot, okay? And do it gentle because you don't want to tear or get underneath your template. And you can add as much or as little as you like. Make sure you get all the edges. Are you ready? It's pretty awesome. And there you go. How cool is that? Okay? Then the other thing you can do is do it on the inside of your card too. Okay, again. Whoops. And lift it up. And now it's magic. Okay? So you have your card with a little inside, your matching envelope, and a very spectacular Wink of Stella tropical card. So, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you hanging in there with me today. Remember, the Designer Series paper sale starts tomorrow, July 1st. It is a buy 3, get 1 free. It is the best time of the year to stock up. I will have a new host code. If you need to order from me, I would be happy to help you. If you'd like to sign up for Card Club, July's Card Club is using the Tropical Escape Suite. There will be 4 cards, 2 designs each. You can come in person. You can get your kit to go. You will get a full roll of this absolutely beautiful textured weave ribbon along with at least one more embellishment. That sign up needs to be, you need to register for that by July 15th, and that will ship out at the end of July as soon as I get home. All right, if you have any questions, if you'd like to see this video again, or if you would like the measurements of all of my cards today, please go to my blog at www.makingmemorieswithmichelle.com. Have a great weekend and make it a crafty Saturday. Bye-bye.